Oh, I am recording. Ha! There you are. All right. I hit record and then I took my glasses off and then I couldn't tell. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Miracle Mom and Michael. I think we'll start the show this way. Uh, Me babbling a little bit and then calling mom. She's ready. She's waiting for me. Let's see how ready she is. That's two rings.
Hello.
Ah, two rings. You got it.
Are you on?
We're on. You're on.
I am? Okay, so I go to YouTube and find you?
No, we're not doing it. It's not a live show. We're not,
Okay.
actually, that's a good idea. I'll figure that out eventually. The problem with
Yeah.
the problem I discovered. Hello, everyone. Mom and I are going to do a little business here before we get into the content of the show. You can listen along. What I discovered is my internet connection is too spotty for doing live. Doing,
Oh,
I've done a lot of Zoom calling and Skype calling, and on one of my other channels. And when I record it, it's like it's too much work to try. Like I did an interview one time where I just tried to do subtitles on everything when the connection broke up and tried to figure out what they were saying. It's just a lot of work. So when I do live streaming, I go to my church office. So I'm not saying I'm not saying we're not going to do that, but not
yeah.
not
That's
yet.
okay.
So I'm recording this, but I'll post it almost immediately.
Oh,
I'll,
okay.
I'll put
All
it up.
right.
I'll put it up quickly. So how are you, Mom?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So that surprise birthday phone call got quite a few views.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Sort of took off. That was amazing.
So you're like, you found your audience, Mom.
They're out there.
They are out there. There will be those loyalists, and it will grow. So we are now doing this on Sovereign Art Sock channel, so that's where I'm going to be posting from now on. So
Okay.
I'll be posting videos on Sweet Home Arizona and Sweet Home Maricopa to direct people over to this weekly show. So I will record those videos, and then I will post this video, and then I will post those videos kind of as a chain reaction. This one will go up first, and then I'll post those other ones so that people will be directed to it. All right?
Okay.
So
Sounds like you have a lot on your plate.
I do. My Sweet Home Maricopa channel blew up really, really quickly, which
Right.
I wasn't anticipating. I was hoping that I would find an audience and get some traction, but it moved. It happened a lot faster than I anticipated.
Well, because the topic is so current.
Well, that is right. Like that's the kind of thing where it just so happened it was something I was interested in, and it was timely, and so combined with my ingenuity or innovation with things that are totally out of my control, right? I can do only so much, and then other things have to happen, and they did.
Right.
And so adjusting my schedule and my life and trying to do it right, trying to cater to the different audiences, right? I have different channels, and there are different audiences. There's the broader audience that's interested in the Southwest Desert investigation, and a lot of those people are Christians, and so it's like, okay, that's the most important thing to me is my relationship with Jesus, and so those people that also happen to be interested in that investigation may be interested in other things that I'm talking about, such as my miracle experiencing mom, my mom who should be dead, right? You should be dead.
Should be, isn't.
Well, what I want to do, instead of me babbling the whole time, in the next episode, not this episode, but in the next episode, I want you to go ahead and retell that first miracle.
Okay.
So next week we'll have you tell that one. But I want I want to hear from you, because this channel is not just you and me, Miracle Mom and Michael, but this is the channel where I do most of my Armenian genocide information, talking about
Right.
Armenia and what's going on in Armenia today, but also kind of revealing the project I've been working on. And so, you being my mom, being my obviously my number one fan, and I want to, maybe you can tell the audience from your point of view how that how this has been for you, how you've seen what you've seen happen to me. Maybe you can explain the journey, and as you know, just I would like to hear it from your words, from your point of view.
Okay, that's pretty broad.
Yeah, so you can take off wherever
I,
you want, go in any direction you want. It's your show.
I tend to ramble. That's where you get that from,
Yeah.
for sure.
Thank you.
I can start out on one track and go down 100 other tracks.
Well, that'll be my job to try and steer you. You get rolling, and I'll try and steer.
Well, okay, we don't have to go over how you became a Christian. That story is already out there.
Yeah, I can link.
I
can link it in the description.
I'm not going to cover that, and I'm just going to fast forward to where it all is today. And when you first began to do your videos about Armenia and Sogum and Tellurian and all of that, I did say to myself, what? Where is this coming from?
Yeah.
How did all that happen? And you've explained how all that happened. And now today I'm kind of in that place of, what does all of this mean? For Michael, what does this mean? What is this journey supposed to convey to us? And so, I've followed you all along with all of your Armenian project that you're on. And I realized, he's talking about a nation that I literally knew nothing about. I've probably read the word Armenia in scripture along the way somewhere. So, it dawned on me, it would be to my benefit to do my own research, my own whatever I could find out about this nation called Armenia. So I have done that, as you've moved along. I've do the Wikipedia thing, find sources, whatever I can about this nation, Armenia, and I'm finding myself flabbergasted because of what I've found about this nation.
It's like striking gold, right? Striking gold.
Well, it affected me every time now when I keep searching and finding things. It's as I'm reading what I'm reading, it's almost as if I'm reading the Bible.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you said that. Keep going, but I want to say something later.
Yeah, because Armenia as a nation was actually founded by two of the original apostles.
It wasn't founded by them because it's been around for thousands of years. It was, to modern Armenia, you might say. Like there was a paradigm, a transition that happened in their history they were totally transformed. Continue.
Well, it was Bartholomew and Thaddeus.
Yep.
Who were involved in this, hands-on. It almost, I can't even describe the emotional and psychological, really, feelings that happen to me when I read about it. It's like I'm drawn right back into that time, and I'm going, wow,
it's
Armenia.
Like it's like your eyes opening all over again.
Well, I guess so, but that's one way to describe it. but it's one more time that living word. This Armenia is not, some country that just happened to pop up in the world one day, like all these other nations do. I guess it's just the impact of it really hit me. It really hit me. And my conclusion, has been there is no other nation on the planet today in the modern world like Armenia. There's not one. In terms of its founding, in terms of the significance and the role that it's played in history.
Wow, I didn't realize it had impacted you like that. It impacted you in that way, because that's what I've been trying to convey on my other channel, Tales of Truth, but on this channel as well, is Christians in particular, once they realize what this place is, the significance of it, it's like, I mean, obviously it's not like, you can't compare it to being saved, because there's nothing like that. But it's like your mind and your eyes being open to something that God's been doing for centuries, that you had no idea about. As a modern Christian, it's like, wait a minute, how come I don't know this? I should know this. Everybody should know this.
Well, that's exactly, what I said to myself. I've been going to church since I was a child. I've attended all kinds of churches in 77 years. In all that time, I've never heard one word about Armenia.
All right.
Not a single word in 77 years from a church.
Yeah.
Off a pulpit. And here I am today. Here's my son, who's been called to this mission, whatever it turns out to be, I'm kind of at a loss for words, and I'm not good at words, I'm better at writing, but who has been drawn to this historical fact that the world is ignorant of. So,
well, I've mentioned this multiple times, but it bears repeating. My reason for starting Sweet Home Maricopa is to reach the audience for Armenia, right? There's this audience that once they discover what's going on, what's been going on, so it's like I had to find another topic. I mean, it happens to be a topic I care about, but another topic that Christians are focused in on. That's what stood out to me. Like, as I watch a bunch of like YouTubers and read the news, it's like these are like Christians that are caring about an investigation, right? They want to get down to the bottom. They want transparency. They want the truth. Well, that's what Christians want, the truth. And like, man, once these people discover this other area where there's this truth that's been suppressed, it's been actively suppressed, it's going to open up. And I think it will be like Armenia will become a household word, and Soghomon Tehlirian will become a household name eventually. That's the goal. So,
well, my thought was, and it was shocking. It really hit me with a shock, because Armenia became the first state in the world to adopt Christianity, the first one, and it's still here today.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to ask yourself,
barely still here.
Well, it's barely still here, but look at the thousands of years that it has survived.
Yep. I mean, it's been under active attack, right? Assault, massacre.
Yes, from every direction.
Yep.
And what should we be learning from this? There has to be something extremely important. Okay, we all know about Israel. We know everything about Israel.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Christianity, we have not known this. We have not been taught this. No one has ever focused on this fact. And we can't lose it. It can't be lost.
Well, I'm glad you actually bring it to that. I want to wrap up with this. I don't want these segments to go longer than 20 minutes. We'll be probably under 20 minutes, but I'm glad I brought up that point, because that's something that has resonated with me. It's like when we as Christians read the Bible in the Old Testament, we know, okay, Israel, it was this nation that God chose. It was this guy named Abraham, and his lineage became a nation, right? And so God had to do it somehow. He's like, I got a savior. Right. I'm going to come in the form of a man, and I'm going to come through the normal process, through the birthing process. So it's got to be through the lineage of someone. So I got to tell this guy it's going to come through his lineage so that everybody can be prepared. Right. And so it turns out to be Israel, a nation. And
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you've probably had people ask you, like they've asked me, well, why did God choose the Jewish people? Why did he do that? My answer is always, God had to start somewhere.
Exactly. It's like it had to be someone.
It's that simple.
It is that simple. He's like, here's a guy.
They're special. Now we know they're special, but God had to start with someone.
Right.
So he chose them, get over it.
They're special specifically because someone of that ethnic group happens to be God in the flesh, right? That's like God's like, this is what's going to happen, so I got to start over here and inform them and inform them. And so the way you look at Israel as this people chosen by God is exactly how I view Armenia as a people chosen by God. Except for Israel, it was an individual who was going to become the chosen one, right? Who was the chosen one. For Armenia,
it's about the new covenant.
It's the nation. So here's the thing, and I want to close with this. In reading the last words of Jesus, right? The last thing he says to his disciples, the last command he gives them is go make disciples of the nations.
All nations.
Of all nations. Okay, and so it's the word of that really, I had this epiphany. It's like, and I even looked it up in a few commentaries, and in a future episode, I'll read the Matthew Henry commentary, what it says about this, what exactly Jesus means. Because becoming a Christian, I go to church and you hear about the Great Commission and you hear about the 1040 window. And when once all nations are reached reached with the gospel, then that signifies that's some important thing for the return of Jesus, right? That has to happen before. So that's kind of what we as Christians, we just have that in the back of our mind. Oh, okay, that's what this is about. But when I went back after realizing Armenia is the first Christian nation. So in 300 AD, they had this transformation after the Thaddeus and Bartholomew, when Jesus sent them out, like, go and make disciples. They're like, I'm going to go in this direction. They go to Armenia, and by the year 300, Christianity has spread so much in Armenia that the king has this event that it's like, okay, this God, this Jesus is God. We all need to follow him. So it becomes the law of the land. And I don't mean like,
well, it's the official state religion, right?
Right.
Do I have that right?
Right. So when I read the Matthew Henry commentary about the Great Commission and that expression, make disciples of the nations, Matthew Henry says that what that means is when a people group, an entire people group, the term nation, adopts the teachings of Jesus, puts them into practice as a corporate body. And so the parallel between Israel and Armenia is, with Israel, it's about one individual who's going to bring salvation for individuals.
Exactly.
But the salvation of Armenia as a corporate body is the first fulfillment of, and this is the way I phrase it, the way it seems to me, is the first fulfillment of the Great Commission. Make disciples of all nations, not just individuals within the nations. All right?
Yeah,
so I'm going to wrap this up with that little epiphany.
Okay.
All right. I love you, Mom.
I love you too.
All right, everybody. That was episode 1 here on Sovereign Art Sock, Miracle Mom and Michael. In the description below, because Mom and I have a ton of other conversations on this channel, so that you don't have to go back and search in the description below. I'm going to start chronologically from the beginning and put about our first 7 conversations in the description below. If you want to go hear more of Miracle Mom and Michael yammering on about any random subject matter.
Keep coming back, everybody.
We will see you next week.
Okay. Love you.
Bye. Love you, Mom.
Bye.